track for both teams. So it's going to be an interesting game to say the least. But I think Bahamas has the edge in this one just because I think they have the better players. But hey, I'm excited. You should be excited, and the persons that are watching this live stream should be excited as well.
As well as we see the athletes being welcomed. We did see the standings for the tournament so far. The two teams that have registered a win, Guyana, who secured their first ever win against the Bahamas in this competition last night, 102-75, and Jamaica, who had a commanding victory over the Surinamese, who will be playing tonight. So as you said, it's two teams who are yet to register a win. That's going to change tonight. And by all accounts, it appears that Bahamas are the favorites today.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, too, both teams lost by huge margins, so they have a lot of room for improvement. So I think this game is going to be one where they can try to work on some new things. I think for Suriname more specifically, being able to box out because they were really battered on the offensive glass. So they'll need to work on that. And as we know, the Bahamians, they also had their struggles on the defensive boards as well against the Guyanese girls last night. So two teams that are struggling with rebounding, and it's going to be a very compelling tale between the two squads tonight.
Well, we just saw them announce number 14, Valerie Nesbitt. She's definitely going to be the player to watch for the Bahamas today. She leads the team in every major offensive stat except blocks, actually, or that's a defensive stat. So yeah, she has 35 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals in the first game. As we stand for the national anthems.
And now for the national anthem of the Bahamas. We now welcome the team to embrace each other.
All right, so as we see the teams heading in to embrace, I'm going to continue where I left off talking about number 14, Nesbitt. Like I said, she leads the team in all the major statistical categories, excluding blocks. And I think they're going to have to, or there's not much option actually for them to rely on outside of her. Although last night we did see Demerit, Brainan, and a couple of the other members of the team showing a little bit of ability coming down to the end. You could argue that those were the quote-unquote garbage minutes, but I actually liked what I saw from her teammates last night.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the team, you definitely know that Higgs will also be relied upon. Higgs had 23 points last night, obviously Nesbitt with 35. So Higgs is a really good complementary scorer, secondary scorer, so to say. And once they're working in tandem in the backcourt because they both play guard, the guard position, I think it's going to be a tough task for the Surinamese defenders who had a lot of turnovers against Jamaica. If the Surinamese women can't take care of the basketball, it's going to be another long night for the Dutch-speaking nation.
Obviously, the Suriname starting five being announced: Julian Nyman, Shakia Parati, Morelva Marico, Beyond Jerin, and as they're calibrating the screens, I also want to remind you of our referees for today: Brooke Briscoe from Canada, Jose Antonio Di Maria Gomez from Panama, and Gilbert Bonio from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, and Suriname will definitely be relying on Chiniqua Pengel and, of course, Miriliva Marcia or Mauricia.
Here we see the starting five for the Bahamas: Latavia Brannan, Mitchell Butler, LaShawn Higgs, Valerie Nesbitt, and Shalonda Neely. I think that's the same starting five we saw last night, so we should expect more of the same from the Bahamas coming out early. I think they're going to try to employ the trap fairly early on because Suriname had 24 turnovers in their first game, which is a tournament high, and their inability to take care of the ball led to a lot of fast break points for Jamaica. We saw Bahamas profit off of fast break points against Guyana until Guyana made the necessary adjustments. So I think that's going to be an early route to establishing some sort of dominance in the game in this first quarter.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that there. And I think the Bahamian women as well play an up-tempo type of basketball that might trouble Suriname as well. I mean, Suriname in the early quarters against Jamaica tried to push the pace, but because of as you said, the trap that Jamaica employed that caused so many turnovers, I don't think that's the best strategy going against the Bahamas team with Nesbitt and Higgs that could capitalize easily at the rim. So it's going to be a tough game for Suriname. I think they have a lot more in this game to get right than the Bahamas do. So how it unfolds is definitely interesting as we prepare for the tip-off.
As we prepare for tip-off, I want to say that Suriname has shown that they've got more points in the team from the second unit, and their scores are a lot more distributed. We saw Pengel with 9 points, Nyman with 8, Slagveer with 5, and Jadini with 7. So I think if Suriname can find a way to keep that scoring distributed, but everyone raise their level a little bit, they're going to be competitive in this game. As we wait for the tip, let's look forward to a good one today, folks.
Definitely, Omari. And, again, just with Suriname, I know Mauricia didn't have a very high-scoring game. That's number 11, but she was very active all over the court last night. So they will probably need her level of activity on the court again, especially on the defensive end. She usually picks up the best guard. You could already see her right next to Nesbitt before jump ball. So she's probably going to have a very tough defensive assignment against Nesbitt, who dropped 35 points last night.
Well, if I'm to look at her stats, she did hold her own in that first game against Jamaica. But, of course, this is a team sport. So I'm looking forward to see a good game from Marika tonight compared to her first one against Jamaica. And the tip
goes to Bahamas. Nesbitt already with the ball in her hand.
It looks like Suriname has settled into a zone defense. They're not too worried about anyone other than Higgs or Nesbitt shooting. We see early on the boards are important.
Yes, yes. As we said, the Suriname struggled on the defensive rebound pick.
Yep, early trap. Nesbitt misses the easy two. They keep the trap up, but the ball moves up to Parati.
Tough shot, running floater from Suriname. Rebound goes to the Bahamas.
Higgs brings it up. Higgs to Nesbitt.
Back to Higgs.
Higgs
shot from
open three.
Bang!
Drains it.
Higgs, first three-pointer of the game.
So here we see a high trap being set by the Bahamas team. Easy feed into Parati. Parati drives straight to the basket. Does she get the foul? It's called a blocking foul.
One of the things I'm noticing as well, I'm not seeing Pengel on the floor for Suriname. So Pengel, who was the highest scoring option for the Surinames, she is starting the game on the bench, which is an interesting move by the coaching staff of Suriname.
Yeah, it is an interesting move. I think they're looking to prioritize ball movement right now, especially because of the trap being deployed by Bahamas. As you saw, they beat the trap and got a free drive at the basket. If Suriname is able to keep that ball movement going throughout this first quarter and the game, I think they're going to get a lot of chances at the rim. If they're able to get Neely and Brandon in foul trouble fairly early on, the complexion of the game could change. And there we go.
Marcia to the line for two. As I said, she was pretty active last night. A lot of drives to the rim. Bad shooting game for her. But I think because of her level of activity and intensity, she's going to be a major factor in this game if the Surinames are to win tonight against the Bahamas.
Yep, and like I said, we saw early on, quick drive to the basket, foul on Neely. Neely gets taken out of the game immediately. They brought in Forbes, who showed a lot of heart and fight last night, especially on the defensive glass. So I think clearly the Bahamas coach has an idea of where the weaknesses are and has already taken steps to remedy those.
Both free throws missed by Marcia.
And that is going to hurt the Surinamese team.
Yeah, because they did shoot very poorly from the free throw line last night. Good pick.
Excellent steal. She goes in for the layup and scores.
Deuce.
First 2 points for Suriname. Scored by number 12, Jadini. Beautiful defense. She read stayed in the passing lane, and that's the advantage of a good zone defense.
Definitely. And as you can see, the Surinamese women could run. They play really well up-tempo. Bad shot by Higgs.
Recovered by Jadini. Jadini drives up the wing. They try to trap her.
Good pick. She pulls up, passes the ball. Nijman takes a shot. Nijman misses. And here comes the Bahamas up the court. Right to Higgs. Higgs surveying the court. Bad pass. Almost
Forbes
tipped.
goes up. Misses. Recovered by Jadini.
Jadini sending all her teammates down the court, trying to set the offense. Passes the ball to Parati. Bad pass.
Parati to Nyman. The pass was picked off. Butler drives it up. Passes to Nesbitt. Nesbitt inside. Misses. Recovered by Forbes for the putback.
Offensive rebounding again. This is going to be a major pain for Suriname if they're unable to box out during this game. Good trap by Bahamas, and Higgs misses at the rim. Here comes Marcia, drop, block, foul.
Marca drives. Is it a foul or is the ref calling a deflection? Anyways, timeout called by Team Suriname. I think early on we see exactly where the efforts are going to be from the team. It looks like the coach told Nesbitt and Higgs to lay up to do some push-ups for those missed layups.
He is sure right. Every missed push-up, every missed layup, 10 push-ups, man.
No, and I don't blame him because you saw the trap employed perfectly. They got 3 easy steals off of the trap, and they missed layups. And then on the Suriname side, we saw you got to the line, you missed 2 free throws, and now instead of being down 2, you're down 5.
Yeah, which is it's going to be a tough game if Suriname cannot convert from the free throw line and cannot get those defensive rebounds. And as you said earlier as well, the turnovers for Suriname needs to somehow stop.
I think clearly Jadini is the best ball handler for Suriname, so I think they're going to have to trust her with the ball coming up court. I understand that they want to mix it up and work with whoever's, inbounding, but that is not going to be practical against a team that's clearly set out to force turnovers.
Yeah, I'm just more concerned about why Pengel is still on the bench. Last night, I think she kind of controlled the game in moments, in spurts, and she was probably at times the best player on the floor between Jamaica and Suriname. Even though she scored 9 points, it was just
Body and bounce pass picked off by Higgs. Higgs to Nesbitt. Nesbitt looks to drive, passes into Forbes. Forbes gets blocked. Beautiful block from the number 15 of Suriname. Jadini brings it back up. As I said, she clearly is their ball handler. She goes up for the layup, misses, but the ball goes back to Bahamas. Ball lost out of bounds by Shakir Parati.
And Nesbitt brings the ball up the court. She is trying to set the offense. Passes to Higgs. Higgs looking. Passes right back to Nesbitt. Nesbitt pumps fakes. Passes. Shot from the mid-range. Misses.
Recovered by Forbes. Forbes loses it though. Ball passes into Parati. Parati across the court.
To Nijman. Nijman blocked. And
Beautiful block by Butler.
Here comes Nesbitt. Nesbitt lines it up. Good entry pass into the...
Beautiful no-look pass. 2 misses. My goodness, Bahamas needs to work on the finishing at the rim.
The good thing is they're getting some offensive rebounds. Jadini passes the ball to Nijman. Nijman holds it, trying to slow the pace of the game a little bit.
She goes in for the drive.
Foul.
That is a foul. I'm wondering who they're going to put it on because both Forbes and Butler stuck their hands in to block that shot and got nothing but hands. Looks like they put the foul on Forbes. If they did, I think that's her second foul for the game.
Yeah, that's a tough foul there.
7-2.
Either way, we have Nyman going to the line for 2 free throws. And again, I want to make a comment on the zone defense being employed by Suriname. While I think it is a great option, especially because you can't really trust anyone outside of the Bahamian top 2 scorers to make shots, especially outside the perimeter, I think they should modify the zone a bit. You know the ball is going to either Higgs or Nesbitt. Have someone stick close to Nesbitt and not collapse all the way across when the ball is swung. You saw they swung the ball twice and everyone collapsed onto the same side as Nesbitt, leaving Higgs open for an easy drive. I think if they're able to make just that slight adjustment to the zone, not come across too much, they may be able to limit the Bahamian scoring options.
But that's the ability of the zone, though. The zone should not be following the ball. It should be playing in spaces. So the reason why Higgs is being left that wide open is
because they're following the ball.
is because they're following the ball.
All right, 2 free throws scored by Nyman, cutting the Bahamian lead to 3 points. 5 minutes and 46 seconds left in the first quarter. They try to trap Nesbitt.
Ooh,
Nesbitt beats
what
the
a
trap
move.
beautifully. Passes to an open Higgs for 3.
Higgs
No good.
backhands it.
Recovered by Nyman. Nyman
And
pass.
this is Pengel now. Pengel is in the game.
Loses the ball. Recovered to Butler. Butler to Nesbitt. Nesbitt drives. Passes to Forbes.
Easy.
Sorry,
deuce.
passes to Butler. And Butler scores the 2.
And here comes Pengel. Passes to Marika. Marika goes into the lane.
Yep,
Tough.
that's clear foul by Forbes. I'm not sure why she's surprised. Her hands were wrapped all the way around Marika as she did the drive, even preventing her from raising them up. That's 2, and that's for sure Forbes' second foul in the game.
Well, usually players complain for everything now, so it's nothing new to the game. So I'm not that surprised. Why she's not surprised?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we see a clear path into the game for Suriname. They beat the trap, open person on the wing, quick drive in, you draw a foul, you get 2 free throws. They need to capitalize on these free throws. I think those are the 3rd missed free throws for Marika. She still is yet to hit one. So the only benefit from this possession was another foul on Forbes.
Yeah, and I think Suriname, they are a poor shooting free throw team, so they need to work on that. Not sure how we can work on that in game, but it's going to take a lot more effort at the line.
There we go. We saw we finally see the adjustment in the zone. So clearly in the last timeout, the Surinamese coach said something to the team. There was someone sticking to Higgs that time, forcing Nesbitt to drive to the rim herself. Good score by the number 10, Pengel of Suriname.
Yeah, Pengel is really good at making shots at the rim. She's ambidextrous as well. So we definitely need to keep an eye on how she plays. Good pick by
Here she is in the
Pengel.
pass lane.
Passes to Marika, and Marika should get an easy layup here.
Ah, beautiful score by Suriname, cutting the lead down to 1. There we see Pengel in the game, adjustment in the zone. Pengel stayed and blocked the passing line between Higgs and Nesbitt. I think they're going to do the same again. And yep, you can see the adjustment. So Surinamese clearly have set themselves up in this game to defend or limit the Bahamian offense. Loose ball picked up by Forbes. Forbes to an open Higgs.
And
Higgs scores the 3.
Lines it up pretty well. Higgs already being a major factor in the game. Here comes Marika again, driving in the lane. Wild
Way
shot.
too strong.
And Higgs up the court, looking to get the ball to...
Where was the defense? The defense looked confused.
And that's because they're just keeping their eyes on the ball.
Trap employed. Marika open for a drive on Forbes. Why did she pick it up so early? Pengel recovers the loose ball behind the line. Open 3. Misses it. Back iron.
And
Wide open Nesbitt up court. Easy
Easy
layup
push.
for the Bahamas.
She's not going to miss that one. No push-ups today.
And just like that, 3 turnovers and the lead is 15-8 in favor of the Bahamas. Pengel drives.
Easy shot. She
Misses.
usually good at the rim.
Recovered by Forbes. Loses it out of bounds, but off of Pengel.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a tough game for Suriname. You can see how it's going right now. They're turning the ball over. They're not able to hit shots, and they're not making free throws, and they're giving up offensive rebounds. So if they don't clean some of these things up, or at least 2 of these things up, it's going to be a very long night here for the Dutch women.
Yeah, I think for Suriname, the issue is free throws and finishing. If you add free throws and missed layups, the scores would be level.
Good pick for Nesbitt. Nesbitt passes to Higgs. Higgs lines up a 3 and misses off the right iron. And here comes Suriname up the court. Passes
To
into
Parati.
the lane. Passes back to...
Parati to Pengel. Pengel back to the number 1 who drives, is blocked. Recovered by Parati, scores under the rim. Was that a foul? Yeah, and 1. Good finish by Parati, draws the foul, and once again, you see after they beat the trap, there's lots of open opportunities to drive at the basket. And I think the coach should be giving Nesbitt and Higgs more push-ups to do, because after the trap is beaten, they aren't getting back quickly enough.
Yeah, because I think both Higgs and Nesbitt try to save most of their energy for the offensive side of the ball. So they kind of lays a little bit on the defensive end from time to time, and then they pick up their energy when they're playing on the offense. And I guess that's because that's their strong suit. But you definitely need to be in position if you're going to give up space when you trap a player.
Yeah, exactly. No matter how superior you may think you are to the opposition, you can't be given free chances or opportunities to the opposing team. There we see a foul committed. It looks like it's going to be on Suriname's number 1, Slagveer.
Slagveer. Inbound from the side. Nesbitt to inbound for Bahamas.
Yeah, we can be sure Higgs is going to get the ball. Higgs back to Nesbitt. There we see the zone defense focusing on
That's a foul.
on Nesbitt and Higgs. Foul under the rim by Slagveer, it looks like.
And that's
Yeah, that's either Slagveer or Parati.
and that's Taranya Wild Goose heading to the free throw line for Bahamas.
Yeah, she just checked in alongside Tatiana Lockhart. It looks like the Bahamian coach is looking to clean things up a bit on the offensive glass in particular, because that's where Suriname's last 3 breaks came from.
Wild Goose lines it up, shoots, misses off the back iron. First free throw of the night for Wild Goose. I don't believe she had any points in the last game. That one's off the front iron. Pengel with the ball coming down the court for Suriname. Tries to drive, loses the ball, passes it to Nesbitt. Nesbitt with an easy deuce. And she
Another
misses
miss by Nesbitt. This is quite uncharacteristic after her stellar performance last night. Beautiful pass in for Suriname into
Pengel.
Pengel scores. Beautiful floater, just shy of the free throw line.
But I think it could be just the legs of Nesbitt. You know, you had a really late game last night. Maybe a little bit of tiredness stepping in. Legs feeling a little bit heavy when you're, you know, rising for those layups. But hey, my bad. Maybe I was wrong.
2 scored by Nesbitt. They managed to beat the zone and get a nice layup.
Pass fake, wild shot. Nothing but air.
I think the Surinamese need to calm down a bit. Their ball movement is clearly giving Bahamas a little bit of trouble once they settle into the half court, but it appears as soon as they get up, they're kind of rushing to get a shot off.
Yeah, it's the same way they played last night. They tried to rush the game. They didn't take the openings that they had, and they turned the ball over a lot. So it's the same kind of trend that we're seeing from the Suriname players here tonight at the 2025 Caribbean Championships. This is their second game, so who knows? Maybe they can fix it for the third, but it's...
Travel by Forbes. Yeah, she took about 4 steps before she put the ball on the ground. I can understand because she was off balance, but I think she should have gotten rid of the ball. She had 3 teammates open outside of the arc. Ball back to Suriname, and you see the press being employed by Bahamas. That press is definitely going to turn into a trap, depending on who gets the ball. I think the best option is for Slagveer to set a pick, which she does, giving Jadini the opportunity to get a free pass. Travel by Slagveer.
Suriname just unable to keep the ball.
There's a little bit of the dark arts there from Higgs. I think she had hold of Slagveer's jersey when she got the catch, but refs can't see everything, right?
That's why they have us.
All right, 45 seconds left in the quarter. Bahamas leads 18-13. Higgs at the top, passes down. Shot scored by Bahamian number 3, Demerit. I mentioned her as one to watch after her performance late in the game last night. Pengel drives. Easy layup for Pengel. Bahamian defense collapses again after the trap. I think after this quarter, the coach is going to have to talk to the team about defensive organization. But again, the culprits are the Bahamian leading scorer, Higgs, and Forbes.
The scoreboard is out right now.
3 seconds left. 2, 1. Shot goes up. Nothing. That's the end of the quarter. 2015, Bahamas leads by 5 heading into the quarter. I think Suriname has a lot of positives to take away from the game. If not for their missed layups, turnovers, wild shots, this game could have been a lot different. Yeah, and Bahamas also has a little bit to worry about. You had a decent offensive showing, but you're only up 5, and you missed a lot of layups. I think Nesbitt herself missed about 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just an aberration by Nesbitt and Higgs missing about a couple freebies, so to speak. So this game could have easily been a 10-point game at the end of the first quarter. But again, like you said, Suriname is right there, and if the missed layups for Bahamas continues, then maybe they have a chance.
Yeah, maybe they do. Like I said, the keys for Suriname going into this next quarter are beating that trap. If they beat the trap, there's going to be lots of opportunities to drive. However, if they beat the trap and the defense recovers, they just need to calm down. On the 2 possessions, we saw them moving the ball around calmly. They got nice open shots, open opportunities. So I think they need to continue that into the second half. And if they do, they'll be able to keep this game competitive. And I think what they should hope for, actually, is the legs of the Bahamian star players giving out. Yeah. If Nesbitt and Higgs can't keep it up going late into the game, and Suriname is right there, they have a chance at snatching it.
Yeah, definitely. I think you could see a little bit of fatigue from both Nesbitt and Higgs with the missed layups, right? So maybe as the game goes on, that could even help them as well when the legs get a little bit more accustomed to what the activity they're doing. But nevertheless, you could see the fatigue on the girls as well.
All right, we see the teams huddling, getting ready to come back. Scoreboards are not back yet, but we'll do our best in the commentary box to keep you up to date with what's going on in the game. You can also head to FIBA.basketball and see the live updates, stats, and other information about the game.
Yeah, definitely. Just a slight technical difficulties here. Nothing to worry about, but as Omari said, we'll definitely keep you updated as the game goes on. The players are still staying in, and we'll probably just take a quick break here until they return to the court.
All right, the referees have convened. Looks like the show will go on despite the difficulties. Just waiting for official confirmation.
Generators being sorted. Stick with us. The action resumes just in a bit. Both the Bahamas women's national team and the Suriname women's national team came into this afternoon's showdown looking for their first victory after opening day losses. So they'll be laying it all down here this afternoon. The fight promises to be explosive. Keep your volumes up, your mask on, and your energy high, because this one is going to pick up when play resumes.
All right, it was just officially announced that the technical issues are related to the generator. So as they sort that out, we'll be going for a short break. The players are going to try to keep warm, and, well, the crowd is going to relax, probably get some refreshments. So I'd recommend you do the same, listeners all around the world, and we'll be back.
PAJ 2632, we're blocking.
All right, ladies and gents, the scoreboard is back. Technical issues have been resolved, and we're about to resume with Suriname inbounding the ball. Here we can see Forbes facing up against Slagveer. Inbound to Jadini.
Jadini sizing up Higgs right now.
Off to Slagveer. Slagveer back into Jadini. Jadini off the glass. Too strong. Recovered by Butler. Butler up to Nesbitt. Forbes heads straight to the rim. Inside pass to Forbes. Forbes to Higgs. Higgs with the easy open jumper. Forbes with the rebound. Misses. Recovered by Jadini. Nesbitt tries to take it. Pengel recovers. Pengel tries to spin, but has the ball stolen by Higgs. But Higgs is fouled by Suriname's number 6.
Higgs checking the floor, probably a little bit slippery. Something's on the floor.
So yes, that foul was on Cindy Jane Vianen on Higgs.
Bit of a slow start here to the second quarter. Of course, the Bahamas leads by 5 points, 20-15 against Suriname, as Higgs walks the ball up the court and passes it off to Nesbitt. That's Brennan. Tough shot.
Brennan misses, recovered by Higgs. Higgs takes a bounce, kicks it to Nesbitt. Nesbitt into Forbes, but too hot and high for Forbes. Pengel brings it up for Suriname.
And here comes Pengel.
Right here is where I think Suriname needs to relax a bit. Attempted tip. Recovered by Nesbitt. Kick ball. Possession goes to
The Bahamas.
Oh no, I think that's a foul called on number 10, Pengel. Turnover by Suriname. Possession goes back to the Bahamas.
Nesbitt getting into her crossover, sizes up her defender. We're trying to trap Nesbitt. She passes it to Forbes, again high, all the way over the head of Forbes. As Suriname.
Here we see Nesbitt upset, talking to herself. So on that last possession by Suriname, that's something I really want to point out. They had the chance, half court, let the offense get settled. Instead, we saw Pengel dribble, take a pullback, and pull up from way beyond the arc.
Yeah, and I just think that Suriname, since last evening, is kind of rushing their offense.
Beautiful pass in.
And even when they're taking their shots, they're just taking shots without necessarily looking at the rim. They're just throwing it up at the rim. And I think that's been part of, Nesbitt.
Now that was Higgs. Higgs tried for a nice layup, but although the ball was recovered by Slagveer, it looks like her foot was on the line. Possession stays with Bahamas. So yeah, on that last possession again for Suriname, we saw nice inside pass to the top at the free throw line. And instead of taking the dribble and perhaps going for the floater, we see a slight fadeaway pull-up.
Nesbitt, wild shot. Nesbitt's been a bit off her game here to start this game 2.
I think a bit is an understatement. Wow.
Yeah.
There we see it again. The trap gets beaten. Nesbitt nor Higgs gets back on defense. And an easy layup for Suriname.
Yeah, Nesbitt looks tired. Higgs is playing with a little bit more energy, but Nesbitt definitely looks tired.
I'm surprised the ref didn't call a travel there.
Higgs lines it up.
Open shot for Higgs. Misses.
Rolls off the back of the rim.
Ball goes off of Forbes and possession goes back to Suriname. But there again, we see it. I think the key for Suriname is going to be to force Nesbitt and Higgs to participate on defense. And to do that, outside of on the break, when you're in the half court, take your time, move the ball around. Force them to participate on defense and sap a little bit more energy out of those legs.
Yeah, push the pace a little bit more as well. Try to push the pace. try to get them a little bit more tired, see how the game unfolds if you try to push the pace and get Nesbitt
Ball
to
stolen
work.
by Butler. Butler passes to Higgs on the wing. Higgs tries to beat the defense, passes into Forbes, easy layup. 2 quick points for the Bahamas. Jadini tries to beat Forbes.
Jadini,
Looks like Bahamas has relaxed the
bad
trap
shot.
a bit. Bad shot by Jadini, recovered by Butler. Butler to Nesbitt, Nesbitt to Forbes.
That's a
Foul.
foul.
That's a hard foul on Forbes. I'm not sure she was going for the ball. Hopefully the refs don't enact harsher punishment.
Yeah, that's a hard foul. But these girls are tough, man. So, I think they play with a certain level of intensity that you can't necessarily teach. And you've seen it here on the court. Their emotions too. They play with their heart. So, Suriname though, they just need to try to slow the game down a little bit if they're going to get back into this game. Because I know earlier I was mentioning maybe push the pace, but because they're not getting good shots, they need to try to take their time, exploit the defensive openings of Bahamas. And here comes Marika. Marika passes to
Offensive
Jadini,
foul.
and that's an offensive foul.
There we see Butler got in position early, got her feet set. So even though there was a beautiful pass from Marika, there we go. Offensive foul. Ball back in the hands of Bahamas. I think this quarter actually in general has been quite slow for both teams. We've only seen 4 points scored so far. Lots of turnovers on both sides and lots of misses as well.
Do you think both teams could be suffering from fatigue? Obviously, both teams probably getting into Guyana early up this week and then having that first game yesterday. And now trying to,
Nice pass in by Pengel. Beautiful move by Jadini, but it just didn't have the finish. Butler brings it up the court. Loses the control. They try to trap her. Ooh, Pengel goes for the steal. A little bit too eager. Pass into Forbes, denied, but that goes to Butler. Butler goes up, misses. Recovered by Forbes. They're on the ground. I think that possession is going to go the way of the Bahamas. I'm loving the defensive effort from the Surinamese team. Like I said, you see, they've adjusted the zone. They're not allowing Nesbitt and Higgs free opportunities either to get the ball or to get the shot off. However, the Bahamians have made an adjustment. I'm not sure if you saw, there was, I'm not sure if it was Slagveer or it was one of the two Surinamese down on the low block. They got pinned and Higgs did a back cut around to the other side, freeing up herself. I'm thinking that's going to be how they'll beat this adjusted zone employed by Suriname. We're going to have to see a lot more movement off the ball from Higgs and from Nesbitt.
And that's a very astute observation. But, I think Higgs, she's getting more open looks than Nesbitt as well. She's not necessarily trying to take the shots as far as I can see. She's trying to mostly get into the paint, and she's passing the ball a little bit. And because of that, they're getting a lot more turnovers because it's crowded in the paint. So they'll need to work on that because the Suriname, like you said, are playing a really good zone defense on them right now.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're trying to get other players involved in the game, especially Forbes. However, you can tell that they're not used to playing this way, or it doesn't appear that they're used to playing this way, because we're seeing a lot of rush passes, overcooked passes, even though the Surinamese aren't that active.
Yeah, and Bahamas takes the shot, rebounded by
Jadini. Forbes is on her immediately, but the ball goes the way of Suriname. I think you can see on that inbounds play and immediately after the rebound, the Surinamese defense instinct or their instructions were to deny the ball getting to Higgs or Nesbitt. Instead, they passed to Brainin, And, well, it led to the Surinamese getting the ball back not too long after. Here we see the full court press employed by Bahamas.
7 seconds violation, 8-second violation in the backcourt. Suriname took too long to get over in their half. So
that's another turnover.
And it's too easy of a mistake to make in a game of this magnitude where both teams, I think, need a win here tonight. Nesbitt to Higgs. Offensive foul, pushing off on Marika. Nesbitt gets the foul.
I think aside from being off the pace, Nesbitt definitely looks heavily frustrated today. She's not as involved in the game. We're not seeing the defensive effort from her. And, well, it shows on the scoreboard for the Bahamian team. Suriname is still very much in this game despite their faults.
Yeah.
Nice inside pass. Yep, that's a foul on Butler. There was a hand in her back as she jumped. And in most sports, pushing a player while they're in the air, that's going to be a foul.
Definitely. Pengel, even just prior to that play, got caught up there. It almost cost them as well. So Suriname still a good pick by Pengel. Passes to Marika. Marika passes on the inside. Back to Marika, and Marika loses it out of bounds.
Too strong. There we see the number 6 of Suriname rushing the pass. Marika was open in that left corner. Had she just waited that extra millisecond to control the ball, she could have gotten a good pass off, and there would have been an open shot from the corner.
Yeah, and here is Nesbitt sizing up Marika. Good pick by Butler. Nesbitt all the way to the rim, passes out to Higgs. Higgs wide open, takes the three, bang, hits it from the corner pocket.
First shot scored by either team in the last, I think, 4 minutes. Nice pass to Jadini. Jadini goes up, nothing. Butler recovers, passes to Nesbitt. It's Nesbitt, Pengel to Higgs.
Oh,
Easy two
yeah.
by Higgs. Beautiful pass and interplay between the two star players for the Bahamas team.
Marika
Strong pass up the court to Marika. Wow.
Loses the handle of the ball. Suriname just not in this game at the moment.
It looks a little like what we saw last night. Before the player gets control of the ball, they kind of already have in mind what they want to do, and she just left it behind.
Exactly. So they're rushing in their brain. And here
Ball
comes
recovered by
Pengel.
Pengel. We see no pressure from Higgs. Pengel goes up. Easy layup. Once again, low defensive effort from Higgs leads to an easy basket for the Surinamese. Pass too hot again from Nesbitt. I know Forbes is beating herself, but that pass was very high and very hot. Beautiful spin by Pengel. Oh, beautiful layup.
English by Pengel, spinning her way to the rim. Definitely one of the better offensive players on the Suriname squad.
Yeah, she's from a Dutch country, but she put a lot of English on that ball.
Definitely. You can see the spin off the backboard, man.
Good shot by Butler. That started from the penetration of Higgs. Again, I have no complaints offensively, especially from Higgs tonight, but offense alone doesn't win you games.
But I think this is going to be a tough tournament for both teams if they're going to be playing and giving up the ball kind of like this. Marika spins, misses.
Draws the foul on Forbes. I think that's going to be Forbes' third foul. Looks like someone else is going to check in for her. But there we see it. The Surinamese had a chance in the half court. They settled. They got a nice driving opportunity after they beat the initial pressure. And again, you draw a foul. I'm not sure how the coaches, if the coaches passed that message on. I'm actually confident he has. But the players need to just relax. We seeing the replay there. Good attempt by Marika. Now she's here for two free throws at the line.
Yeah, and just a reminder as Marika steps up to take the free throws, it's 29-21 in favor of the Bahamas with 3:05 to play in the first half.
Marika's free throw struggles continue. She's drawn the most fouls of the game so far. Put a lot of pressure on that Bahamian defense, but she's yet to capitalize.
Yeah, she's gone 0 of 6 at this point. And here comes Nesbitt up the court, surveying the court, sizing up Nijman
Pick set for Nesbitt. Nesbitt has 2 on her.
passes to
Demerit to Butler. Butler takes 2 dribbles, takes the shot, nothing. Ball recovered by number 4. They're wrapped up.
and that's Latoya.
Is that a foul? It looks like a foul was called on Butler. Ball goes to Suriname. I'm guessing the foul was called because Butler had her arms wrapped around the back of the defender. Back of the attacking player, sorry. Nice behind the back dribble from Jadini. She gets the ball over half court.
Marika with the pick. Jadini sizing up her defender, and here.
Nice turn from Parati. Parati loses the defender. Gets off a decent shot, but doesn't go.
Good pass from Nesbitt all the way to the rim. That's
Roll with an
scoring
easy
that.
layup.
Roll. And here comes Pengel being trapped. And Nesbitt, that's
That
easy
wasn't-
layup for Nesbitt here. And she scores it this time around. Bahamas now getting some momentum here, trying to take this game over and blow it wide open as they make a good, decent little run here against the Surinames. Jadini passes the ball back in the hands of Pengel. Pengel takes a shot, misses wildly. Jadini shoots it off the back iron. Nesbitt with the rebound, passes it up court to Demerit. Almost loses it out of bounds, saves it, but passes it right to Suriname. And here comes Pengel getting all the way to the rim, and a foul. She's gonna go to the line for 2.
I want to make a correction. That was not Pengel, actually. That's Cheyenne Nardin of Suriname. It appears her play style is actually quite similar to Pengel.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely play similar styles.
But if we look at this scoreline as the quarter winds down, again, we see Suriname paying the price of missing their shots and free throws. If we're being honest, the Bahamian offense has not done much or shown much in this quarter. However, because Suriname haven't been able to capitalize on their chances, they find themselves down 12 points.
Yeah, I think the Bahamas, they're probably just a little bit tired. You could see the fatigue on the players. So that's why maybe the extra explosiveness that they had last night is not necessarily there. But I do expect them to recover as the game goes on, because sometimes you need to play that fatigue out and get your legs back while you're in the process of the game.
Indeed.
And we have 1:16 left to play here in the first half. The score is 33-21 in favor of the Bahamas. Two shots for
Nardin, 2 shots for Nardin at the free throw line. Hopefully she can capitalize, keep her team in the game. I think if they can go into the final quarter with the lead in single digits, there is a chance. We're clearly seeing the Bahamian team slow down, and with their limited offensive options, Suriname can't count themselves out if they're within striking distance. Great first free throw from Nardin. She sets up again. Scores both. Flush. Can she be the spark the Surinamese have been waiting for?
And here comes Nesbitt. Passes to Demerit. Demerit takes the shot, misses off the right side of the rim.
Recovered by Nardin. Nardin picks up her dribble a little prematurely, but she draws the foul on Roll.
That's a bad foul by Roll, though, in the backcourt.
Yeah, there was absolutely no reason for her to put her hands on Nardin. I mean, she picked up her dribble. She had nowhere to go, and there was only one option for her to pass to. And if her teammates were being attentive, that would have been another steal. So instead, we have 2 free throws for Nardin. Can she continue her streak at the line?
Misses off the back iron. Nardin about to line up her free throw. Interesting routine at the line. swishes the second one. Goes 1 of 2.
Cuts the lead back down to single digits. 9 points ahead, the Bahamians are. Suriname hoping to keep the run going and stay within striking distance. Here we see Nesbitt bringing the ball up, accompanied by Brannon. Pick set for her. Passes into the corner. Higgs. Higgs back out to Demerit. Demerit with the open shot. Misses. Ball recovered by Butler, but ball lost out of bounds by Higgs. Possession goes back to Suriname.
Definitely tough game here tonight. Both teams struggling to score the basketball.
Here we see Jadini attacking. Higgs gets turned. She's doubled.
Oh, what a fake. Good pass.
Excellent passing to Parati. Parati misses the layup. Oh my. That was some great half-court offense from the Surinamese.
Marika almost lost her ankles. Nesbitt with the
Good
dribble.
block.
Nesbitt
Good block.
struck in the
Nesbitt passes
face.
it up.
But here comes Nardine. Can't get to the ball.
Narden just didn't have the legs.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration being showed there by Nardine. Nesbitt still clutching her face in the backcourt.
Nesbitt clutching her face. Higgs didn't run back. The number 11 of Bahamas also didn't run back. Let's take a look back at that collision. Looks like there was a clash of legs as well as someone's hands came down and brushed Nesbitt's face.
Yeah, you know sometimes if someone pokes you in the eye mistakenly, that kind of is like of a humdinger that kind of blinds you for a little bit, and you got to really get a feel of your sight back before you could even open it.
Yep. Nesbitt goes to the bench, leaving Higgs to be the primary ball handler, but the quarter is almost done, so Marika with strong defense on Higgs, but she gets a little too handsy, and the Canadian ref calls the foul.
8.6 seconds left in the first half of the game. A 9-point lead for the Bahamas against Suriname.
Higgs' first free throws of the quarter.
Steps to the line. Off the back iron.
Yeah, we see both teams not only struggling at the line, but struggling generally with the offense. I mean, we have to give some credit to players like Marika, Pengel, and Narden for their defense. However, it's evident that both teams are having their difficulties offensively. Nice behind the back dribble by Jadini.
Oh.
She tries to force the pass inside that gets picked off by Butler.
I think that's Bryden, number 7. But that's the end of the first half. The first half coming to a close with Bahamas leading 34-24 against Suriname.
Yeah, you're right. That was Latavia Brennan. My apologies. Pass was forced in and Brennan picked it off. And here's the score at halftime. 34 Bahamas, 24 to Suriname. 10-point lead at halftime. How do you feel after that first half, Tristan?
I think it was a very lackluster first half, so to speak. Both teams, I think, suffering from fatigue, struggling to score the basketball, probably don't have their legs under them. But it was a good defensive game, a lot of unforced errors as well. But this halftime break might do both teams a little bit of good going into the second half.
Yeah, I think both teams are welcome to see halftime. Perhaps the Surinamese a bit more than the Bahamians because they seem to lose the plot a little bit there coming down to the end. What do you think the coaches are going to be telling the teams ahead of the second half?
Definitely for Bahamas, it's just keep doing what you're doing, keep playing some good defense, not allowing Suriname to push the pace of the ball and probably trying to get some more unforced errors. For Suriname, it's just about cleaning up those unforced errors, trying to play clean basketball and trying to get your rebounds and push the pace of the game.
I think I agree, especially with the message for Suriname. We can see, again, their clear path into the game. If you can beat the trap, you will get opportunities. If they're able to clean those up and actually finish some more of them, the scores could be looking a lot different. And again, we see them also put in a few Bahamian players in early foul trouble. If they're able to continue that late in the game, if, for example, the Bahamians see one of Brannon or Forbes forced out of the game due to fouls, that could give them a golden opportunity to push late in the game. We're also seeing multiple persons scoring the ball for Suriname. So they may have a little bit less of that fatigue factor going into the second half. I think both coaches have a lot to look at. There's a lot of positives to draw for from both teams, but forgive me for being the hopeful one, but I think I can see Suriname clawing their way back into this game in the second half.
I just think the Bahamas have the better players, and I think it's going to be a win for the Bahamas when the second half resumes in about 13 minutes.
Yeah, so we'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check the stats and information on FIBA.basketball, or if you're watching on ncn.sports or any of the other live streaming platforms, these are the best ways for you to get the information. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
partners who've made this year's
FIBA Women's Caribbean Championship possible. A big thank you to the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, the Guyana Olympic Association, and the Guyana Basketball Federation, along with our valued partners, Victoria Green, Guy Oil, Lane Logistics, NCN, ENET, Scotty Smokehouse, MVP Sports, Ad Nation, Mighty Graphics, Palm Court, and Le We Ride.
is in this game so far. They're looking to drive to the basket a bit more, draw the contact, get to the line. I still haven't seen the conversion of these free throws at a very high percentage for both teams. So let's see how it goes in this half.
So far, the first free throw drained by Neely. Let's see if she can make it 2 for 2. And a successful trip to the line. Off the front iron, recovered by Narden. Pengel brings it up down the right for the Surinamese. Looks like Bahamas have settled into a zone defense. Another turnover for Suriname, taking it to 23.
They definitely is going to break that record tonight, the way they turn over the ball.
Yeah, I can't see them making it another quarter and a half without turning it over again. Nice hesitation by Higgs. Inside pass, block. Second one is a foul. Oh no, it's a travel actually. Clean block, travel by Brennan.
Pengel received the ball. They take it up the court for Suriname.
Here we see the zone being employed. Nice inside pass to Pengel. She doesn't control it. She gets it back. No, she doesn't. All right. Ball possession goes to Suriname. They're fortunate to keep that one there. That would have been their 24th. Yeah, that would have been their 24th rebound. 24th turnover.
Yes. They're not keeping the ball as safe as they should be. Rush passes, not finding the open player, and turn over the ball a lot.
All right, Narden finally dribbles the ball. Passes across to number 6, back to Narden. Narden puts up the 3. Too strong.
Nesbitt looking to drive.
Nesbitt to Higgs. Higgs back to Nesbitt. Nesbitt back to Higgs. Open 3 for Higgs.
That is nothing but net from Higgs.
I'm not sure why Pengel left Higgs unattended. There's literally no one else touching the ball. It's just Nesbitt and Higgs the entire possession.
It was a back and forth passing. That was not a bad play from Pengel, not reading the play.
Well, I'm not sure you can call it a play, but yeah, it was pretty obvious what was about to happen. Yet still, great shot.
That's a good shot
By number 12 from Suriname. That is Jadini.
Jadini with a good floater to get that 2-point. Higgs again in the corner pocket, 3 up.
Off the side of the backboard. Recovered by Jadini. Jadini drives. There's only Higgs ahead of her. I don't know why she tried to pass to Pengel. Higgs had applied no pressure. Higgs was backing off and she was already under the basket. She could have just went up.
That was a very bad pass. Again, that's going to go down as a turnover.
Yes, that's another turnover. Suriname taking them to 24. One more turnover and we'll have a new tournament record, 25. Well, record for this tournament so far. Great pass inside. Doesn't get the finish. Out of bounds off of Jadini.
That's a good pass. Couldn't finish. Bucket. So Bahamas look to turn up the heat a bit.
Yeah, they turn up the heat.
Trying to extend this lead beyond the reach of Suriname.
Suriname is showing that they're not able to finish the opportunities and they're turning over the ball. The gap in quality is starting to show at the start of this third quarter. Complete air ball by the Surinamese. That was their number 2.
That's a turnover again.
Yep, their number 2 Naiman completely misses. Air ball, giving possession straight back to...
Watching Suriname team so far, I see they're not spacing the floor enough. They're not moving without the ball. So it's going to be a bit difficult to find an open player if they're just standing stagnant on the court. So that's something they need to work on. Movement off the ball.
Higgs passes across to Butler. Butler in. That was Butler into Roll. Roll misses the shot. good drive by Jadini, but she's unable to get the finish. Roll came away with the ball, but lost it out of bounds. Possession goes back to Suriname. Amidst all this chaos, the lead for the Bahamians has ballooned to 17 points with 6 minutes left in the quarter, and the lead continuing to rise. I think it's starting to slide out of the reach of the Surinamese. Deep shot from Pengel, hits nothing but the backboard. Pass too strong again by Nesbitt. Higgs couldn't reel it in. That's a turnover. Ball headed back the way of Suriname. Yeah. Pengel brings it up the court. She's trying to push the pace. She asks for a pick, gets it. She's immediately doubled. Sends it out to Jadini. Jadini pump fakes, drives, kicks it back out to Pengel. Open shot in the corner. Couldn't finish. Recovered by Roll. Off of Roll. That's ball possession going back to... No, not off of Roll. Hit out of Roll's hands. Possession stays with the Bahamians.
The Bahamians look a little bit more active out of the break, though, which is a good thing, I think, for Nesbitt and Higgs, because that's a good pass to Demerit.
Great pass inside to Demerit.
Higgs lines it up.
From the corner, another three. That's the third consecutive three hit by Higgs in that bottom left corner.
Higgs now finding back her legs. As I mentioned earlier, maybe as they play a little bit more, they're going to find those legs again. Nesbitt with the steal. And here
Another turnover by Suriname. She drives straight down center court, beats two players, passes inside to Roll.
Off of Roll?
Nah, the ball was played off by, looks like Parati. Yeah, looks like Parati played the ball out. Marika checks into the game for Pengel. And the lead is now 20 for the Bahamians. Ball kicked outside to Higgs. Higgs pulls the trigger straight away. Hits the iron, but ball recovered by Butler.
Well, actually, it was...
No, sorry, that was Brainan. Brainan.
Brainan, Demerit. Passes to Brainan.
Great ball movement.
Easy.
Great finish by Brainan at the rim.
And here comes
Jadini. Higgs and Nesbitt applying a little bit of pressure.
Midge not expecting
They try to
that pass.
force the pass inside back to Jadini, but she gets the foul, and is it a trip to the line?
It's going to be a trip to the line for Marina Letter.
No, it's inbounds. It's not a trip to the line. No, she was fouled before the shot. All right, so we have Parati inbounding the ball for Suriname. Looking for some movement. Plays it high to Jadini. Jadini to Marika. Marika with a nice crossover. 1-2. Too strong. Ball recovered by Bahamas number 10. Higgs brings it up the court to Nesbitt.
Nesbitt looking for a pick. Gets it from Roll. Passes it to Demerit. Demerit laces it up and hits. What a shot from
Great
Demerit.
shot by Demerit. I mentioned she showed some of her shot-making ability at the end of last night's game. There we see it again. Nice open shot created by the actions of Nesbitt. Easy bucket, taking the score to 50. Now they're just 2 points away from being double the points of the Surinamese. Suriname has not found a way to get the offense going this quarter, and they're paying dearly for it.
Yes, remember, you were very optimistic about Suriname being close with a 10-point deficit going into the first half. And I kind of expected that as the game went on, the Bahamians would find their legs. Good pass, and Brainan scores it at the rim.
Excellent pass in down low from Roll to Demerit. Sorry, from Roll to Brainan, and Brainan gets the easy finish. The Surinamese defense appears a bit lost, and as does the offense. They haven't found a way to navigate this zone, and their inability to make shots has made the zone look super powerful and super effective.
Stepped out of bounds there, Jadini.
Yep, as she caught the ball or caught the rebound, her foot was out of bounds. The score is 52-26. Bahamians twice as many points as the Surinamese with just 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in the quarter.
just as a reminder, there is 3 minutes and 14 seconds to be played in the third quarter. Additionally, this is the 2025 Women's Caribbean Basketball Championships. The top 3 finishers of this tournament will head to Central Basket in 2026.
I think the biggest takeaway from things right now so far in the game is that the Surinamese have not hit a single three-point shot. Their field goal percentage, although better than the Bahamians, they've attempted far fewer field goals and had far more turnovers. So despite having a better free throw percentage, better field goal percentage, there's not much to show for it.
Turnovers. That's the problem for Suriname. That's why they have less shots. That's why they have a better percentage. Turnovers. They don't have all of the opportunities they should get because turn the ball over.
Yeah, I think Bahamas as well should be a bit concerned about their turnovers because a lot of them were unforced, overcooked passes by Nesbitt, Higgs, forcing passes down low when they not only had the lead but also control of the ball in the half-court situation.
And let me ask you this question then. Do you think that the Bahamians kind of played down to the competition, or it's just some amount of fatigue?
It could be fatigue, but on the evidence of the first half, it does look like they did play down to the competition. We see now as they came back out into the second half, the energy is different. We see more effort from Higgs and Nesbitt on defense, and that turns into a layup, which she missed. She missed those in the first half. So clearly the energy has changed, the intent has changed, the intensity has changed, and Bahamas is completely blowing them away.
Higgs with another steal, and that's an easy deuce.
Yep, just as I mentioned, the defensive effort. We see defensive effort from Nesbitt and Higgs, and it's paying dividends immediately.
Yeah, but the passes by Suriname
have also been quite loose.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, it's Suriname, they're not helping their cause. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. And here comes Bahamas as well. Wild pass picked up by Letter, and here comes Letter, passes it. Another pick. Higgs
stolen by Roll. Higgs is down. Clutching. Is she clutching her face? Looks like she's clutching her face. Roll just checked on her, but Higgs still hasn't come to. Here we see the coach coming out to check on Higgs and the physio. I think there's more than a few players in the game. Glad for this break, though. See a few players with hands on their hips, taking deep breaths. We just saw that play there.
Yeah.
There was some slight contact between Jadini and Higgs.
Yeah, she probably just got like the wind knocked out of her a little bit. But she's going to be fine. She looks like she's going to be fine. Just needs a bit of a break. Forbes checks in for Higgs. And Nesbitt with the ball. Gets a pick from Roll.
Nesbitt pulls up for the three. Short. Forbes couldn't corral the rebound. Goes out of bounds. Possession back to Suriname.
Suriname, though, they just need to pick up the energy a little bit here. Try to protect the basketball, not be a little as loose as they are with it currently. Marika has the ball, passes it back to Jadini, shoots the shot.
Too strong from Marika. Ball recovered by Forbes. Forbes pushes it up the court, but that pass is easily picked off by Marika. I love Marika's defensive awareness.
Yes.
That's been her strongest suit all tournament. Saw it last night. We're seeing it here again.
Jadini.
Great shot by Jadini.
First three-pointer for Suriname
Of
in the
the night,
entire
yep.
game.
And it's a perfect swish.
Where was this in the first half? And they still need a lot more of those threes to get back in this game.
Good pass from Nesbitt to Demerit. Demerit comes up a bit short. She wasn't looking. Jadini wasn't looking.
Again, Suriname not paying attention, not being offensively aware of what's going on the basketball court. But that's a lack of communication, though.
I think it is a lack of communication. I also think is that the players who are not considered primary ball handlers for the team being a little too eager to get rid of the ball. There was absolutely no pressure. There was no need for her to force the ball up the floor. Take your time and bring the ball up the court. Here we see Forbes again losing the ball out of bounds. She checks out.
Higgs back in the game.
Yeah, Higgs back, Butler back.
Roll as well, and Demerit. That's the 5 on the floor for Bahamas. Letter turns around, shoots, misses, goes for the loose ball.
Both go for the loose ball, but that's recovered by the Bahamas. Nesbitt drives, pulls up from the key, comes up short. Recovered by Mariko. Passes ahead to number 15, but foul is called on the floor. That foul was on the number 14 for the Bahamas, Nesbitt. Here we see Jadini at the top. Zone defense employed by the Bahamas. Pressure applied by Nesbitt. Easy.
Jadini takes the mid-range jumper, misses right. Roll corrals the rebound.
Passes to Nesbitt. They try to trap Nesbitt. Nesbitt gets the shot off and almost gets it in before the buzzer. She looks a little disappointed in herself, but
it looked good out the hands.
It looked very good out the hands. She actually thought she scored. She was ready to run off, but didn't get it. That brings an end to the third quarter. Here's a look at that shot again from Nesbitt. Just shy. The score is 58-29. Bahamas leads. Suriname much further behind than they were at the start of the second half. What do you think the Surinamese coach is telling his players at the end of this third quarter?
I think all you could tell your players right now is keep your head up, keep fighting, keep playing with intensity, and let's try to limit the turnovers. I think that would be my message. Limit the turnovers and let's keep fighting. The game is not over. There's 10 minutes still to play, and while it looks a little bit grim, who knows? A couple of threes here, a couple of loose plays by the Bahamian women, and you could be right back in this game with about a minute or so to go and have a chance to win.
Yeah, they could be, but it's funny to hear you being the optimist now after my talks at halftime. The Surinamese biggest run in the game, if I'm correct, was just 5 points, 5 consecutive points. I can't see them making a big run to surpass or even reduce a 29-point deficit in just one quarter. We haven't seen their offense settled for anything more than 2 or 3 minutes at a time. So I think this fourth quarter is going to have to be an exercise in calm and composure for them. Try to finish the game strong and take some positives into the next one. As for the Bahamians, it looks like the coach is set to send in a few of the players who didn't have as many minutes, see off the game, and get themselves ready, because all the teams here are going to be playing with very short rests and intervals in between. So it's going to be extremely important to manage your players' energy. Here we see Neely checking back into the game. Higgs and Nesbitt don't get any rest, but as we can see, the coach has given a couple of the players a rest. We see Roll headed back to the bench, Butler back in the game, as well as looks like number 7, Brayden as well.
Nesbitt and Higgs as well, still in the game. I think tomorrow the Bahamas might have the night off as well. Not sure. We have to check the schedule there, but it should save them some time to get their legs under them.
Nesbitt to Higgs. Higgs' foot appeared to be on the line, but she gets the ball back, drives, kicks it to Higgs in the corner.
Bang!
Higgs gets another 3.
And a foul.
That's 4 consecutive threes from the bottom left corner for Higgs. This time, it's a potential 4-point play.
What a shot by Higgs. She loves this right corner, though. She's been kind of stroking it from the right corner.
Well, for the viewers, on your display is going to be the bottom left corner. And I think for Higgs, and for any player actually, when your shots are not falling, you just try to get to your spots and get it. And as you can see, she's absolutely cooking from that left corner. Nice pass inside. Marika gets it back, drives, gives it to Jadini. Jadini pivots and gives Higgs a chance to recover. Another pass inside. Good ball movement by the Surinamese. No finish to accompany. Ooh.
And Brennan passes to Higgs. Higgs is going to get an easy bucket at the rim, but
Misses.
misses it.
Recovered by Mariko. Mariko to Jadini. Jadini has just Nesbitt in front of her. Slight pressure from Nesbitt was enough to push her back. Mariko gets the ball. Passes to Jadini. Jadini takes the open three.
Misses off the front iron.
Misses off the front iron. Neely to Higgs. Higgs slows it down after crossing half court, giving her teammates a chance to recover. Surinamese defense recovers.
Yeah, and right now, the Bahamas could take their time playing this game.
Excellent pass inside by Nesbitt. Butler couldn't finish. Neely gets an open shot, misses. Ball recovered straight to Higgs, unfortunately. Surinamese tipped it to Higgs. Higgs to the top to Nesbitt. Nesbitt fakes the shot.
What a pass.
Excellent dribbling pass into Butler. Easy layup by Butler. Well, Keon earlier mentioned that Nesbitt started to look to pass the ball more, and we're seeing the fruits of that. The Bahamians are seeing the fruits of that. We're seeing some great vision by her. She's found her passing range after overcooking a lot of them early in the first half and early actually in the second half as well. But she seems to be finally into the rhythm of the game. I'm not sure if I want to call it a second win, but she's definitely up to pace and finding her own in this match.
Well, I think it could be that I prophesized this. I did say that because of the fatigue, they probably just needed to play their way into the game. And we could see that their energy level is definitely up in the second half. They're moving a little bit more fluently, and they're taking their shots, you know, with confidence. So it's definitely been a revelation of a second half for the Bahamians. And here comes Nesbitt up the court. Higgs calling for the pass, but Nesbitt ignored, gets into the teeth of the defense, passes to Higgs. Higgs lines it up, and off the front iron.
Well, clearly the right corner isn't as fortunate for Higgs as the left. She came up a little bit short there. Pengel takes the three, misses. Recovered by Butler. Butler spreads it to Higgs on the wing, and Bahamians are slowing the pace down heavily. Higgs and Nesbitt walking up the court with it. Down in the corner to Brannan. Brannan takes the open shot, comes up short, recovered by Pengel. With Jadini ahead, Jadini looks for it, receives it. Good slowdown, good layup. See the Surinamese finally over 30 points with 31. Down by 33 with 7 minutes and a few seconds left in the final quarter. Neely back to Nesbitt. Nesbitt takes the three, hand in her face, comes up short. Ball recovered by Suriname's number 6.
Cindy Jane Vienen.
Pengel to Vienen. Vienen to Parati. Parati to Mariko. Mariko with the open three, misses, recovered by Brannan. Brannan to Higgs. Higgs to Nesbitt. Nesbitt with the easy layup.
What a game. I think the Bahamian women are now, like we said earlier, now really finding their zone. They've settled in nicely in this second half, and it's been a cakewalk for the Bahamas.
Great shot by Parati. Fouled. I love the turn. There was no hesitation. She was very decisive. She put it up, and she drew the foul. Chance for a three-point play by the Surinamese.
Yeah, they needed more of that confident shot taken in the first half. The Surinamese, that is. To me, they just kind of threw shots up at the rim without thinking of where they wanted to put it. But you did mention earlier they're making the plays in their head before they actually make the play. So I thought that was a really great observation, and we could see a little bit of improvement from the Surinamese women, but it's just not going to be enough for tonight's win. Nesbitt crosses over, foul.
Offensive foul looks like a moving screen by the Bahamian number 11. That's Wild Goose, yeah. Looks like a moving screen set by Wild Goose, which leads to a turnover. Pengel brings the ball up the center of the court. Bahamas settled into their zone. Pengel passes to Mariko. Mariko drives.
Passes.
Great pass into Jadini. No, great pass into Vianen, but Vianen couldn't control.
Too hot to handle, the pass, that is. And here comes Nesbitt, walking the ball up the court. Forbes running to the baseline.
Nesbitt up against
Calls for a screen.
Marika.
Screens. Passes
Screen
to
comes,
Higgs.
passes to Higgs. Higgs takes the three. Cash.
Higgs lighting it up from beyond the arc in this second half. Definitely a second win for Higgs. Pengel passes out of the double team to Jadini. Jadini lines it up, misses off the right iron, and here comes Higgs, bringing the ball up the court, pushing the pace a little bit, passes to Forbes.
Passes to Nesbitt, you mean? Nesbitt.
Yes, sorry, Nesbitt.
Nesbitt to Wild Goose. Wild Goose loses the ball. They all collapse on it.
Jump ball.
And possession goes to Suriname. Well, the flurry of threes from Latoya Higgs sees her as comfortably as the game's top scorer with 28 points. 5 minutes left in the game. You think she can surpass 30?
Definitely. There's going to be a steal at some point. She's going to get an easy deuce down at the rim here. So I could see her going over 30 easily tonight.
Love the turn and face up from Parati. She passes to Jadini. I'm not sure why Jadini rushed the shot there. There was an opportunity.
Good pass.
Good pass back.
Good pass.
Excellent touch pass from Higgs to Forbes. Higgs could have taken that shot herself, but that touch pass completely threw off the defense, giving Forbes an uncontested layup.
Yeah, I think she doesn't want the 30, to be honest.
Well, you did predict she'd get an open, easy deuce. She passed it up. But I love to see the unselfishness, getting the teammates involved, getting Forbes some touches. I mean, Forbes did lose a couple of passes earlier, so
yeah.
it's good for the confidence when you get easy shots like that.
Especially at the rim, too.
8-second violation by Nesbitt. Walked up the court a little bit too slow there. She managed to get her foot on the line, but didn't get across.
Yeah, with 4:28 remaining, Nesbitt is already thinking about this win and thinking to probably mail it in. Head to the showers early.
Pengel to Mariko. Mariko with the inside pass. Lovely use of the body by Vianen. Vianen rushes the shot, however, gets the rebound, puts it up again, still misses. Back to Jadini. Jadini to Parati. Parati puts it up. Recovered by Vianen, and she gets the bucket. Lovely body control by Vianen.
Yeah, I think the Bahamians are just kind of going through the motion at this point. Nesbitt sizing up Mariko. Gets
Screen set by Wild Goose.
Forbes takes one dribble, takes the shot, misses.
Apologies, that screen was set by Brennan. But I don't think they got the finish there. Possession goes back to the Surinamese. Here we see Pengel letting the ball roll as it comes up the court. Coming down that right wing. She's asking for a pick on Higgs. Doesn't get it, but Parati tries to drive, gets blocked. Ball up to Higgs. Higgs with 30. The 2. Yep, that's 30. Yep. As predicted, we get the steal and the easy deuce for Higgs, taking her to 30 points on the night. Pengel bringing it back up against Higgs.
Oh,
Higgs gets the steal.
And it's going to go all the
Higgs
way
to Nesbitt. Nesbitt back to Higgs.
32 points.
32 points
yes.
for Higgs.
I think I'm good at this prophecy thing, man. I should try it out as a profession.
Nah, I think you should stick to commentary. Or as much as we might want to predict the future, we can't. And in games like this, it's always unpredictable.
Well, Mariko with a good floater.
Lovely ball movement from Suriname. We see a good floater from Mariko. That's a bucket. And when I see players like this, I can't help but feel a little bit sad, because it's players like this that Suriname missed the opportunity to have by rushing. Had they shown the same composure at earlier stages in the game, their score could have been looking a lot different. As a matter of fact, even the Bahamas score would have been looking a lot different, because a lot of those rush plays led to turnovers.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. I think Suriname's ability to rush their own plays kind of shot themselves in the foot. Not sure what the message is in the locker room or how the coach is relaying the message to his players, but he needs to kind of tell them to slow it down, take your time, pass the ball, make the right play. I think it's just it could be a coaching situation as well.
Yeah, there we just saw a turnover by Suriname. Travel on Wild Goose. She caught the ball and hopped a couple of times. I mean, we're close to Christmas, not Easter, not the time to be hopping.
Hey, Santa does ride a sleigh. Deer's hop.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen a goose hop though. There we see the foul drawn under the rim by the Surinamese number 14.
And that's
Narden.
Narden.
Yeah, Narden headed to the line for 2.
She's been their best free throw shooter.
On the night, yep.
Yeah.
And here she goes, hitting another one.
But Suriname has a lot to ponder. This is more than likely going to be their second loss of the tournament with 2 games left to be played for Suriname and with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to be played in the game as well. So it's definitely a tough run for Suriname. They're probably not going to finish close to the top 3, but you never know. Points differential might help them as well.
Demare takes the shot, no hesitation. Wild Goose corrals the rebound, puts it back up, doesn't get the shot to fall, but she gets the ball back. Wild Goose kicks it out back to the top to Nesbitt, recycles it. Nesbitt calms it down and sets up her crossover.
Shot from the 3-point line, misses off the front iron.
Recovered by the Surinamese number 1,
That's
Slagveer. Marika recovers, goes in for the drive, but she gets blocked cleanly from behind by the Bahamian number 12. That's Tatiana Lockhart. Great defensive effort from Tatiana Lockhart. Marika had her defender beat and for all intents and purposes had an open layup, but Lockhart was there with the lockdown defense.
And now you can see the coaches has pulled both Higgs and Nesbitt from the game. Oh,
Banked in.
nice shot.
I'm not sure she called back, but she can take that shot to the bank. Marika with a lovely shot from the corner. Yeah, Nesbitt and Higgs out of the game signals the Bahamian coach's intentions. He sees it as a job done. Cruise control. Let's just bring it home, ladies. And, well, let's see if they're able to do that.
Well, they're going to be able to do that. I don't think this deficit could be overcome in about a minute.
Here we see Kate.
Passes back to Bien.
Misses the shot. Roll is unable to control the rebound. It goes out to play. Suriname inbounds. Here we have Jadeni bringing it up. Jadeni to Marika. Marika just outside the free throw line. Finds an open Parati in the corner. Parati overcooks the shot. Recovered. Here we have Kayla Bien bringing it back. Tucker takes the shot right away. Doesn't score. Recovered by Marika. Marika brings it up the court, down the right wing. Drives straight to the heart of the defense. Overcooks the shot. Recovered by the Bahamians. That's number 3, the Merit, bringing it up. Bad pass.
52 seconds to go in the 4th. Omari, your thoughts on the game? This one is going to definitely be a win for the Bahamas.
Well, my thoughts on the game, it was just the quality the Bahamians showing through. We see the fatigue on both teams, especially on the star players for both teams. I think the Surinamese were not able to get as many players involved in the offense. We see them scoring a similar number to what they scored in the first night.
I think they scored 44 in the first game.
Yeah, they scored 44 in the first game, so they're, I guess, performing to the standard they've set so far. However, there's a lot of positives still that I think they can take from the game. They've shown that when they're able to calm down in those half-court situations, they have good ball movement, good awareness, and they can actually get great looks. The issue is finishing those looks and creating more of those good looks by remaining calm on the offense. We saw very early on, actually, they were able to beat the trap and get those good looks as well. But once again, it's all about composure. Composure in the finish, composure with the passes, and even composure with the ball movement. Movement off the ball, apologies. But at this time, the game is almost over. This is all going to be, reviewed after the game. Hopefully, they can make the necessary adjustments and improvements over time. And I'm looking forward to seeing these ladies improve. They've shown us a lot of good things tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Easy deuce there for Narden.
Narden, yes, that was a good pass up the court. Narden corralled it nicely and gave us a really good layup.
Yeah, but I think speaking about the Bahamian women going forward.
Excellent steal by Marika, created by the pressure of Slagveer. She's fouled by Bien, which is going to send her back to the line. Again, we see Marika drawing fouls in the game, even near the end.
Yeah,
Can she hit her first free throws of the night? I'm rooting for her to hit her first free throws of the night.
Yeah, she's not been very good at the free throw line last night's game and tonight's game, so she definitely needs to get some work in on that. But speaking about the Bahamian women, I don't think they can afford Nesbitt and Higgs to start slow going forward in this competition.
Come on, we see even the crowd is cheering for Marika to hit her first free throws, man. I'm really hoping she gets it. Yes, she gets it. That's her first free throw of the game, taking the score to 45. 2 points off Suriname's total in the first game.
Shot clocks are off.
Shot taken and scored by the Bahamian number 7. That's Braynon. Ball coming up the court. Can Suriname get a bucket before the end of the game to beat the previous total? They can't. Ball stolen by Bien. Bien up the floor. The clock is going to run out before she can finish. She does get the finish, but that's after the clock. That's the end of the game. 77-45. Bahamians take home the win. We see them walking back to their coach. Everyone congratulating each other. They're all happy. This is the happiest I've seen Nesbitt all night. Final score on the screen for you, ladies and gents. 77 to the Bahamas, 45 to Suriname. We see the players here crossing, shaking hands, high fives. Good sportsmanship after a hard-fought game for both teams. I'm sure both are glad to see the end of the game and probably going to be even happier to get back to their rooms and get some rest and recovery.
Definitely get some sleep. Early game for the Bahamas, or not an early game for Suriname, but of course coming up later at 20 hours 30 or 8:30 p.m. tonight, Guyana versus the Virgin Islands.
Yes, we're looking ahead to that primetime matchup. You're going to be able to catch it right here on NCN Sports or any of the other platforms where this game is being streamed. If you want to see information about that game, be sure to check out FIBA.basketball, and all the updates and information about the game will be there. Everything from live box scores, stats, and play-by-play available all on the website. See the team posing for a picture, the Bahamian team posing for a picture after the end of the game there.
Definitely. Really good game by the Bahamas women. They were able to bounce back. Now they're 1-1 with 2 games left to be played in the tournament for them. So they're still within a shot to finish in that top 3 position for qualification to Central Basket. So it's not a horrible tournament so far, but definitely a lot more improvements need to happen if the Bahamas are going to finish in that top 3.
Well, if we haven't seen the Virgin Islands play yet, but if we were to judge off of the intensity we saw from Jamaica for the Bahamians, it only gets more difficult from here. The Jamaicans are going to be coming with lots of energy. They're going to be coming high off of a victory, and they're going to be targeting a win. Here we see the schedule of the day up on screen. Looking ahead to the game tonight at 8:30. I want to thank you for tuning in to this game, Bahamas versus Suriname. The second game, we're going to look at the table here. Bahamas played 2, won 1, lost 1 with 3 points. Jamaica right behind them played 1 with 2 points and a win. Guyana would also win, 2 points. Suriname played 2.
Lost 2.
And lost 2.
Virgin Islands, they're yet to play it, but their first game is going to be tonight.
Yeah, like I said, we're here live on NCN Sport. That was the end of the game. You just saw the scores, the schedule, and the table. Be sure to check back in with us in another hour and 10 minutes or so as we start, and that's when we'll start the pre-show for the following games. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is the 2 Josephs, so Mari and Tristan here. We'll be back. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.